Our next speaker is Gabriela Martinez Motta. She is a research assistant at the Nelson Institute at UW-Madison, working with the Grasslands 2.0 learning hubs that if you were here yesterday, you heard some of the theoretical basis for from John Strausser. She's going to be talking about community engagement with transformational change. So take it away, Gabriela.
Thank you, Sarah, and thanks for inviting me to this symposium. As Sarah mentioned, I'm going to be talking about the project Grassland 2.0 and how we are working with the community engagement. And first, I want to, the agricultural system in the upper Midwest is creating water quality and soil health issues. And also this is affecting the farm business viability and the community viability. So Grassland 2.0, in their proposal to the USDA, it's seeking to co-develop an agroecological transformation plan for the region. And why we are doing this? Because as we know, for example, the picture on the right is the Mendota Lake. And every year we have algae blooms. And also in the land, we are having problems with return soil, contamination of the water, and this is affecting all the production in this area. These are the biophysical components, but these issues also affect the rural community and the health in the population. Over the years, we could see a decrease in the number of farms in the Midwest. And we can see that the croplands without pasture land are not decreasing. Meanwhile, the pasture land acres are decreasing a lot, as you can see with the information from the Natural Agricultural Statistics Service. Between 2007 and 2017, the decrease was significantly. We also have the carbon price that in 2012 increased to $7 and then decreased to almost $4. But the land with crop insurance from 2012 to 2017 increased. And I'm going to explain that later, but we conducted interviews, and what farmers mentioned is that when you have land with crop insurance, you can't lose money. While you have land with pastures, if a drought happen, if a flooding happen, you are gonna lose money. So we are working, we create a collaborative landscape design that, as John explained yesterday, it's a place-based social learning. And what we are doing is we have the understanding that each stakeholder have the different perspective of the system and a different understanding of the landscape. So we need to understand and have the vision of each stakeholder to have a shared understanding of our social, ecological, and economic system. And how we are doing this is through a collective action. Researchers from the university, stakeholders in each community, and we are doing this through the learning hubs. Grassland 2.0 start with 5 learning hubs, 3 in Wisconsin, 1 in Minnesota, and 1 in Illinois. And now we are trying to expand this learning hub, adding 2 more to Wisconsin. What are the learning hubs? The learning hubs are geographic-based sites of communication and co-learning between the stakeholders. The output of the learning hub is developing a process. And how we are doing this, we conducted interviews I'm going to talk about the 3 learning hubs in Wisconsin. We conducted 75 interviews along these Wisconsin learning hubs. One is we named the Clover Belt, that is in the Wausau area. The other one is the Rich and Valley and the Driftless Learning Hub. And these are in the southwest of Wisconsin. And we work with a graphic designer to develop panels for the community gathering that we had in each learning hub. These interviews where we interview farmers, processors, bankers, extension staff, agency staff, council members, restaurant owners, nurse, agritourism owner. So we try to have a broad spectrum of stakeholders and input, because what I was mentioned before, each person have a different perspective of the landscape and expect something different from the landscape. So we try to understand all the visions. I'm gonna show now the output from this interview that we work with the graphic designer. And this one is from the Clover Belt, and some things that we hear, what is happening now, we call the story of now. We ask, okay, how do you see the agricultural system now? We hear that there is more consolidation, there are problems with supply chain, the land price, it's a problem to access to land, and this creates difficult for new farmers to start. And then we ask, okay, what do you expect the agricultural system in 20 years? Many people that we interview mention access to credit, to access to land, farmers working together, supporting each other, better diversity of farms, and more pasture system. And then with them, we work through the pathway. In the Rich and Valley, what we hear, it's about worry about the water quality. They mentioned that each time they want to do a well, they need to go deeper and deeper to find better water quality. Another constraint was the health, access to health. Problem also with supply chain, less diversity in farm, and land prices as a problem also. What they expect, the story of the future, where work to prevent flooding and water infiltration, to promote water infiltration that will help with flooding, keep the water quality, financial support, a better diversity of farms in system, but also in size. Accessible health insurance and new markets, because if we want a diversity of farms, we need to develop new markets. In the Driftless Learning Hub, what we hear was that neighbors support each other. Young people want to stay, but lacks land access, it's a problem. Also, there are more consolidation. The landscape, it's better for grazing, but it's using for crop. The important role of the grazing specialist, it's many farmers mention about how these persons are supporting and helping them navigate the system and get some funding for implement grazing. And the problem with the health insurance, that many farmers need to have an off-farm job to get the health insurance. And when we ask about the future, they mention that they want to develop more local markets, a better internet connections that also will help, path for succession, because many farmers want their kids to farm, but the farm is their retirement. So how they gonna give the farm to the kids if they need the money for their retirement? Also, the access to land, they want to have more credit and better access to land, more small farms, training for farmers, training in manage farm as a business, and health insurance for farmers. How we are doing this? we present these panels to farmers in a community gathering that we had already in the Cloverveld and the Ritten Valley. And we are having the one in the Driftless in March 21st. And it's at a space where we invite the people that we interview, but also all the community. And the idea is to discuss these panels and, okay, where do we want to focus? How are we gonna move forward with these pathways? So what are the next steps in this project? It's peer-to-peer learning, keep learning from each other in a respectful place, capitalize on the difference between the stakeholders. Each of us bring different visions of what we want of the land. And it's important to listen to each other and work together. Also, the networking. We want each learning hub to have ownership of this process because Grassland 2.0 is a 5 years funding project and we are in year number 4. So at some point we are applying for more grants, but at some point we want that this learning hub can keep working together and apply for grant for that area and use the connections that we are doing now to keep working in this agroecological transformation plan. Also, part of the project has decision support tools that are Smart Escape, that it's in a watershed base, Grace Escape, that it's more in a farm scale, and the Heifer Grazing, that it's developed. It's a spreadsheet that were developed by researchers to support farmers to make decisions. This is our open access, so you can go to the webpage of Grassland 2.0, create a username, and try with different scenarios. And we are having trainings, sessions for farmers, policymakers, and stakeholders to try these decision support tools. Also, other team of the Grassland 2.0 is working on supply chain and developed markets, especially in the Driftless area. Sarah Lloyd is working in the processor part, and she's having meetings with different stakeholders. And also we have a policy team that is working on all related with the policies to support grazing.
Thank you, Gabriela. I'm just checking the questions now. Sometimes they take a minute to come through, I'm finding. One thing I did want to ask you, for all of the panels that were created, are those now all on the Grasslands 2.0 website if people wanted to, see those as a PDF?
No, I can put my email in the chat, and whoever need to see these panels, I can be in touch with that person.
Okay. Thank you. I had one question come in about the March 21st event in the Driftless Hub, if that's open to the public.
Yes, please send me an email. I'm going to include my email because we need to send you the invitation, but we want as much people as be able to participate because we want the input from the community.
I think that those might be all of our questions for now, Gabriela, but thank you so much. And I really appreciate the work that UW has been focused on this Grasslands 2.0. I think it's a very important social component of the work that we're doing in the Driftless. So very much appreciated.
Thank you.